In the most recent article of the Living Lutheran magazine, Pastor Frank Honeycutt entitled his editorial, Jesus and the Election. He closed the article by writing, "Many Novembers ago I was sitting in a pub with church friends, and the topic turned toward the coming election. One close pal said, 'I love Jesus, but I'd never vote for him for president.' I remember lots of laughter, including mine. I think I know what my friend meant by that, but I left the pub that night with an odd feeling, and it had nothing to do with the beer." Pastor Honeycutt continues, "I sincerely doubt that Jesus would even want to be president of our country. His lordship, for starters, is global, concerned with many flags. But what I felt that night in retrospect was a rather dismissive shelving of Jesus in certain realms of our lives. If he's not Lord of all, he may soon be Lord of very little." End of quote. As we enter this season of Advent, we begin the annual pilgrimage from the Christmas manger to the countryside and streets where Jesus walked and taught and healed and called us to higher places in our thinking and believing and doing. We pause at what may appear to be the end of that pilgrimage on Good Friday, only to rejoice that Christ is risen. He is risen indeed. Through it all, we realize that Jesus held nothing back in what he was willing to give to us and do for us. We struggle to do the same, to hold nothing back in responding to a love so amazing, so divine. I appreciate what Pastor Honeycutt wrote. If Jesus is not Lord of all, he may soon be Lord of very little. We never want that to happen. But we have seen too often in ourselves and in others a willingness to try to shrink Jesus down to a size that fits comfortably into our cluttered lives, our inadequate belief systems, and our shattered politics. Of course, the problem is that Jesus is always bigger than any limits we might try to impose. And we should give thanks for the scope and magnitude and wonder of his lordship over us, over whatever our struggles might be right now. And I know some of those struggles are so difficult and painful that through our tears we may be asking Jesus over and over again, "Where are you?" Part of the answer to that agonized question is the lordship of Jesus over our future. The promise he has given us is not only that he will be with us always, but that he has already made all things new. We cannot see the glory of it all in the midst of life struggles and blindness, but the time is coming for each and all of us when we will see a new heaven and a new earth like eagles surveying the landscape. And we will not just soar above it, it will be our home forever. So as another Advent and Christmas season begins, tempered by all the fears and losses these pandemic times have brought, we may have to avoid singing "Joy to the World" and "Silent Night" and "O Come All Ye Faithful," all of our favorite seasonal hymns inside our churches. But what matters most is that inside our hearts, we welcome Jesus, not as Lord of very little, but as Lord of all. Amen.